Welcome to the Tommy Sandhu podcast, all wrapped up for 2021. We're looking back at some of our most magical or most memorable moments. And this was a big one for me. To get Ammy Virk and Karan Aujla on the podcast was huge, right? These are guys that because of COVID and restrictions and travel limitations, it's going to be very hard for me to get in a room with them. But thankfully, I was in Dubai. They're in Dubai. I was hosting this big Punjabi concert for E3 UK. And these guys are performing. But what a chat we had. Ammy Virk, top of his game. I thought we were going to be talking about him celebrating his kind of A1 status. But in fact, he still very much feels that he's at the bottom of the ladder. He'll explain all in just a minute. And Karan Aujla, it was a massive eye-opener for me because he straight away opened up about some very tough times in his life. This is motivational. These are two great singers, great performers, and they're showing a side of themselves that you wouldn't normally get to see. Here are Karan Aujla and Ammy Virk on Tommy Sandhu podcast, all wrapped up for 2021.
Silence!
Wow. I don't think you're going to get silence here, Ammy Virk. One thing we know about Punjabi people, we don't do silence, do we? We're asking for silence, but no one really cares. How hard is this? Punjabi people make a lot of noise.
Yeah.
It's hard to control them, isn't it?
But ਆਪਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਇਹ noise 12 ਨੂੰ ਚਾਹੀਦੀ ਹੈ ਨਾ 12 ਨੂੰ ਚਾਹੀਦੀ
That's right.
We need that voice on 12.
Oh, look at that.
Coca-Cola arena.
ਤੁਸੀਂ ਇੰਨੇ professional ਹੋ ਨਾ ਸਾਰੀ ਗੱਲਾਂ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਵਾਪਸ concert ਵਿੱਚ look at that. There's so much we could talk to you about. You've achieved so much. You've done so much. You're doing so much. Now, how are you managing this? Because I think you've entered another level of workload potentially. You're a banda like we are. But how are you dealing with it? How are you dealing with the workload, the pressure, the requests? ਭਾਜੀ ਇਹਦੇ ਨਾਲ ਗੱਲ ਕਰੋ ਭਾਜੀ ਇਹਦੇ ਨਾਲ ਮਿਲੋ ਇਹ ਸਕ੍ਰਿਪਟ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਪੜ੍ਹ ਲਓ ਇਹ ਗਾਣਾ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਕਰ ਲਓ how do you do it all that?
ਨਹੀਂ ਹੋ ਜਾਂਦਾ ਭਾਜੀ ਆਪਣੇ ਆਪ ਨਾਲ ਤੇ ਮਤਲਬ ਸਮੇਂ ਦੇ ਨਾਲ ਇੱਕ ਤਾਂ ਕੰਮ ਦਾ ਪਤਾ ਲੱਗਦਾ ਰਹਿੰਦਾ ਮਤਲਬ ਜੇ ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ ਕੁਝ ਮਿਲਦਾ ਪਿਆ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਆਪਣਾ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਪ੍ਰੋਫੈਸ਼ਨ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਹੈਗੇ ਆ ਉਹਦੀ ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ ਨੌਲੇਜ ਹੁੰਦੀ ਰਹਿੰਦੀ ਹੈ ਤਾਂ ਉਦਾਂ ਦੇ ਬੰਦੇ ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ ਅਪਰੋਚ ਕਰਦੇ ਆ ਮਤਲਬ ਜਿਹਨਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਲੱਗਦਾ ਵੀ ਜਿਹਨੂੰ ਐਮੀ ਨੂੰ ਅਸੀਂ ਜਾ ਕੇ ਫਿਲਮ ਸੁਣਾਵਾਂਗੇ ਤਾਂ ਸਾਡੀ ਓਕੇ ਹੋ ਜੂਗੀ ਨਾਲੇ ਫਿਲਮ ਲਾਈਨ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਵੀ ਕੀ ਆ 2-3 ਬੰਦਿਆਂ ਨਾਲ ਆਪਾਂ ਰਿਪੀਟਲੀ ਕੰਮ ਕੀਤਾ ਜਗਦੀਪ ਹੈ ਜਸ ਗਰੇਵਾਲ ਹੈ ਅੰਬਰ ਭਾਜੀ ਹੈ ਰਾਕੇਸ਼ ਧਵਨ ਹੈ ਉਹ 4-5 ਬੰਦੇ ਆ ਜ਼ਿਆਦਾ ਸਕ੍ਰਿਪਟਸ ਵਾਲੇ ਬੰਦੇ ਹੁੰਦੇ ਨੇਗੇ ਆਪਣੇ ਕੋਲੇ ਸੋ ਸੇਮ ਹੀ ਹੈ ਉਹ ਆਪਾਂ ਆਲਰੇਡੀ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਅਗਲੇ 2 ਸਾਲ ਕੰਮ ਕਰਨਾ ਆਲਰੇਡੀ ਆਪਾਂ ਡਨ ਕੀਤਾ ਹੋਇਆ ਲੌਕ ਕੀਤਾ ਹੋਇਆ ਫਿਲਮਾਂ ਦੇ ਪੁਆਇੰਟ ਆਫ ਵਿਊ ਸੋ ਗਾਣਿਆਂ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਜ਼ਰੂਰ ਹੁੰਦਾ ਵੀ ਜਦੋਂ ਫਿਲਮਾਂ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਵੀ ਗਾਣੇ ਚਾਹੀਦੇ ਆ ਸੋ ਪਰ ਫਿਲਮ ਆਲਮੋਸਟ 5 ਤੋਂ 6 ਗਾਣੇ ਚਾਹੀਦੇ ਆ ਸੋ ਸੇਮ ਸਿਚੁਏਸ਼ਨ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਉਹ ਥੋੜ੍ਹਾ ਜਿਹਾ ਵਰਕਲੋਡ ਉਹਦਾ ਜ਼ਿਆਦਾ ਹੁੰਦਾ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਸਿਚੁਏਸ਼ਨ ਲਈ ਗਾਣੇ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਲੌਕ ਕਰਨੇ ਬਿਕਾਜ਼ ਗਾਣੇ ਸਹੀ ਵੀ ਹੋਣੇ ਜ਼ਰੂਰੀ ਹੈ ਜਿੱਦਾਂ ਮੰਗਦਾ ਨਾ ਆਪਾਂ ਉਹ ਵੀ ਫਿਲਮ ਦਾ ਗਾਣਾ ਸੀ ਮਿੰਨੀ ਕੂਪਰ ਸੀ ਉਹ ਵੀ ਫਿਲਮ ਦਾ ਗਾਣਾ ਸੀ ਸੋ ਕਿਸਮਤ ਫਿਲਮ ਦੇ ਗਾਣੇ ਸੁਪਨਾ ਫਿਲਮ ਦੇ ਗਾਣੇ ਕਿਸਮਤ 2 ਦੇ ਗਾਣੇ ਸੋ ਫਿਲਮਾਂ ਦੇ ਉਹ ਜਾਨੀ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦੀ ਜ਼ਿੰਮੇਵਾਰੀ ਸੀ ਚਲੋ ਆਹ ਵਾਲੀ ਜਿਹੜੀ ਮਤਲਬ ਰੋਮਾਂਟਿਕ ਫਿਲਮਾਂ ਸੀਗੀਆਂ ਜਗਦੀਪ ਵੀਰੇ ਦੀ ਆਪਦੀ ਬਾਕੀ ਫਿਲਮਾਂ ਦੇ ਗਾਣਿਆਂ ਦਾ ਥੋੜ੍ਹਾ ਜਿਹਾ ਵਰਕਲੋਡ ਹੁੰਦਾ ਬਾਕੀ ਸਿੰਗਲ ਟਰੈਕਸ ਲਈ ਵੀ ਕੋਈ ਐਸਾ ਚੀਜ਼ ਨਹੀਂ ਹੁੰਦਾ ਭਾਜੀ ਜੋ ਮਨ ਚਾਹੁੰਦਾ ਉਹ ਕਰ ਦਈਦਾ ਤੇ ਬਾਕੀ ਕੋਈ ਮੈਨੇਜ ਕਰਨਾ ਔਖਾ ਨਹੀਂਗਾ ਭਾਜੀ ਇਹ ਤਾਂ ਜੇ ਸ਼ੁਰੂਆਤ ਕੀਤੀ ਹੈ ਤਾਂ ਜੇ ਆਪਾਂ ਕੰਮ 'ਚ ਤਾਂ ਪਏ ਨਹੀਂ ਜੇ ਕੰਮ ਤਾਂ ਕਰਨਾ ਆਪਾਂ
Okay, all right, you hear that? This is just the beginning. ਹਾਲੇ ਤਾਂ chapter 1 ਹੈ is that what you say?
ਨਹੀਂ ਚੈਪਟਰ 1 ਵੀ ਨਹੀਂ ਜਿਵੇਂ ਬੰਦਾ ਪਹਿਲੀ ਕਲਾਸ 'ਚ ਨੇ ਉਹ ਥੱਲੇ ਨਹੀਂ ਹੁੰਦਾ LKG UKG ਨਰਸਰੀ 'ਚ ਵੀ ਨਹੀਂ ਆਇਆ
okay ਹਾਲੇ ਨਾਪੀਆਂ ਵਿੱਚ ਅਸੀਂ Okay, now we see running from there. It's been there for you. You've risen up in such a short space of time, I suppose, as we've seen you. I'm sure you've been grafting from a lot longer than that.
Yeah.
But who's your homies? Who's your go-to guys or people around?
I don't know if you know about this, but I lost my parents a long time ago.
I'm sorry to hear that.
So I didn't know that. I was 9 years old, and after that, I just been with my friends, my brothers. So they're the ones, I can't say one name out here, but there's a lot of them, and I respect them. Big shout out to you guys, man. You guys know who you are, and I just been out since I was 10 years old, and I just meeting people, making more friends, and I feel like it's been a hell of a journey for me, and yeah, man.
This is the first time we've had a chat, and I see in your eyes you're like you're wise beyond your years. You're like an older man in a younger man's body, in the nicest possible way. Yeah. Do you think that's what probably led to that? You had to grow up quicker or harder?
I think that's one of the things. See, if we start talking about this now, it's going to be a...
Sorry, I don't want to get too heavy. I'm trying to keep the vibe low.
But sorry, that's one of the things, Yeah, that's why I feel like I'm a bit mature of my age, like, because I never had friends my age. I got kicked out of school when I was in grade 11. Actually, grade 12, I got kicked out. And after that, I knew what I was going to do. And it was music, you know. And yeah, man, it's wherever I'm at today is because of my brothers.
Yeah.
That's what I'd say.
I like to try and spread a bit of positivity, as much positivity as we can,
Yeah.
right? We all know people have got things they're going through, and they don't share it, they don't talk about it. You've revealed something there.
Yeah.
What would you say is someone who's going through it, whatever it is right now? They're hitting their hard times, because sometimes you can't see light. I mean, you've been through it. You've been through probably single-handedly one of the most toughest things anyone could ever imagine.
Yeah,
I cannot imagine
Yeah.
what you went through as a young lad, or how that changed you.
Yeah.
What do you say to someone who's lacking that hope, that drive?
I feel like one thing I'd say is it doesn't last forever, whatever it is. No money, no hard times. They don't last forever. It's just a part of your life, and you just gotta keep going, man. You know, don't look down, look up. You know what I mean? And just keep going. You know, you just gotta keep walking, bro, and don't give up. That's all I'd say.
I heard, genuinely, this is just as a fact, I heard that if you hit subscribe to this podcast now, if you have subscribed on Apple or on Spotify or on JioSaavn or wherever you are listening right now, if you are subscribing and getting that on a regular, which means you get the little notification when the new episode comes out, fact, this is a fact. Don't tell no one else's. If you hit subscribe, you can eat as many jalebis as you want and you will never put on weight. I know. I don't understand the logic. It makes no sense to me. I mean, how's a podcast relate to the DNA way in which your body breaks down jalebi sugar stuff running through your... I don't understand, but what I do know, it's a little cheat to life. So if you like jalebis, then you should hit subscribe to this podcast. Oh, and follow us on social media too. We're on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. Follow us, eat jalebis, be happy.